All right, so I want to tell a time about how God started to open up communication between me and my spouse. My journey has been a long, drawn out process. All right, I know a lot of you guys are kind of like in that space where it's been years or months. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if I knew that I was going to be doing this, I probably would have documented the entire thing, honestly. So I want to give a little backstory. When God began to tell me to reach out to my spouse, so much has happened before this set of instructions. The reason why I am telling you this is because so you can get the understanding on how God operates. This is a step-by-step journey, okay? Most people are praying and they're not strategic. They are not listening to God. They don't know to listen to God. So I'm making this video to help you understand that your restoration starts through your obedience to the Lord. And when God began to really speak to me, he had put me on a 4-month liquid fast in the very beginning. Now, you may have heard me say this fast several times in my testimony. And he told me to do this fast several times throughout my stand. But this 4-month fast, I was in a really dark place. And I'm be honest with you, I did not think restoration was going to be for us because we were toxic, okay? We were very toxic. And I didn't want it. I was done. But I was in a very dark place because of my rebellion. So, long story short, I surrendered to God. And when I surrendered to God, that's when he told me to pray for your husband and go on a 4-month liquid diet or fast. This consisted of noodles. I had like potato soup. I had mashed potatoes. I would have yogurt, smoothies, things like that. During this 4-month fast, God had moved me. All right. I was living in this roachy townhouse that I did not bring those bugs in there. And during my fast, God had moved me into this apartment that was completely beautiful. And I had no job, no car, nothing. Okay. He had supernaturally approved me for this apartment. This is when I really began to understand the importance of obedience. And I really began to understand listening to God is key and that he is in control of everything. Now, during this time, I was still devastated because I knew there was somebody else, but I didn't know how invested he was with this person. And I want you to understand that I didn't know nothing about warring or anything like that. I just used to cry all the time. And during this 4-month fast, I don't know if I said this, but God told me that you are going to be back connected with him before the 4 months is out. Now, I want you to understand, I am new to all of this. So I'm thinking that we're going to get back together at the end of the 4 months. Okay. During this time, I move into this apartment. I then get a real estate job that was like 5 to 10 minutes away from my house. So like everything was in alignment. All right. Everything was in alignment. And this is where God began to teach me basically how to be a wife. So I moved in with absolutely nothing. And he taught me how to build my house as far as furniture and things of that from the ground up. Okay. So I'm doing this, but I'm having it in my mind that he's going to break up with this person and we're going to get back together. And he's going to come to this new place and we're going to be together. Right. Well, during the fast, I learned they're living together. And I just was so perplexed. I don't even know if that's the right word, but I just was so confused on how was God going to do this in a short amount of time. I want you to understand that during this time, I went through an astronomical amount of tests to build my faith. All right. I went through the test of getting the approval for the apartment, and that was hard. All right. Then I went through another test where I thought I was going to get evicted because I didn't get paid yet, and God was telling me you're not going to get evicted. I went through an astronomical amount of tests that God was using to build my faith, but I had no idea that he was trying to build my faith with the journey ahead and the things that I was going to experience. He was using the lack of finances and things of that nature to basically teach me how to depend on him and that he is the source of everything. So I'm still on this fast and I'm praying and I'm going to work. I'm depressed, I'm crying, but then I'm starting to feel better because I'm learning how to be a wife the right way, and I'm learning how to basically build a house. God began to supernaturally bless me with furniture. Like, he was doing so much things to build my faith, and I felt really good, but I was still heartbroken about my spouse. Long story short, I hear God tell me, you're going to reach out to him on July 30th. Okay, need you to understand the reason why I was able to hear God very clearly is because I was in direct obedience. Like, I was not connected to nobody. You know, I had like some people I was connected to that I would talk to here and there, but I was in the face of God consistently. All right, God had no choice but to talk to me, and that's the way he decided to. I began to hear him very clearly, but I was still learning. And I didn't know if it was truly God. So I heard it, I believed it was God, but I was still doubtful. Long story short, God begins to teach me. I'm learning how he begins to talk to me. So God is beginning to confirm to me that this is him leading me. And one way he would confirm it is this thing would sit on me. Like, it didn't matter how much I would try to release it. This instruction would sit on me. Then I would have dreams. So I had a dream that we were talking, and I had a dream of my spouse traveling. We are in no communication at this point, but I'm having a dream that he's traveling somewhere, okay? Long story short, I am going along. God is still confirming this is what he wants me to do. July 30th comes, and I get off of work scared, but I'm in a better place, everything. I make the call on Instagram because I was blocked from the phone and Facebook. I call him on Instagram. He does not answer. When he did not answer, the Lord said, call him again. I called him again. He did not answer. God said, call him again. I need y'all to understand that my spouse had a very stubborn spirit, okay? He answered on the third time, and he was literally like laying down or something like that. God led me to call at that specific time because he knew that my spouse was doing nothing. We get on the phone. I turn my camera on. He has his camera on. He's like, what do you want? I began to say, hi, how you doing? How are you? I learn that he is in another state because he took a job. So he's traveling. That's why I had the dream of him traveling. Long story short, he's very resistant. He's very, very, very resistant towards me. He still is holding on to the unforgiveness, all of that. And from that day on, we began to really get back into communication, but he was still like resistant and cold towards me, but yet he would still talk to me. Now, he is still with this person and he is living with them, but God waited to connect us back when he was not at the house with her. He was in a whole other state. Long story short, we start talking fluently, but he begins to really tell me how I hurt him. I heard his anger towards me and everything, and the Lord would tell me, do not defend yourself, just listen to him. I began to listen to him, and we started getting back connected only on Instagram. After that, he came back to the same state we were in and went back to the girl, and I was extremely heartbroken and I was distraught, okay, because he had cut me off again. However, I had planted so much good seeds while we were communicating because I was obedient to God, and I was showing him that I had literally worked on myself and changed, okay? My attitude was different. I was more vibrant, and he was even curious about the new place that I was living at. I am actually going to make a part 2 because this video is about to end, but my main reasoning for making this video is to show you that this is a step-by-step journey, okay? My story is very crazy, but I will tell the parts that God is leading me to tell. So I will see you in part 2.